It was 1st of January 2009, New Year's Day. And around this time, a lot of people are celebrating a new year and making plans for the year ahead. But for my family and I, we were faced with a different reality. I remember hearing a knock on my door, and my mom went to open the door, and I just heard a scream, so obviously I jumped out of bed to see what was going on. And I saw that my father had fallen over to her. We dragged him to the main bedroom, and there was just blood everywhere. So we asked him what had happened, and he told us that that boy finished him, meaning that a 14-year-old had stabbed him. And those were his last words. That broke me. Losing a parent at such a young age can change you. I was only 17. This was the day when my life changed forever. This is not a story of despair. It's a story of hope, of resilience, and most importantly, a story of forgiveness. I am Thulisa Keyi, and this is my story. I was born on the eve of South Africa's democracy in 1991, a time when South Africa was undergoing tremendous change. Growing up in the township, this change was palpable. I had so many dreams and aspirations of changing my circumstances, of outgrowing the township I was born into. In Mdantsane, the crime rates are high and you encounter trauma on a daily basis. It's survival of the fittest. So when I lost my father, it was nothing extraordinary. It was life. On the verge of completing my schooling at the age of 17, I had to make a choice. I could either be crippled by the tragedy of losing my father, or move forward and continue with my studies. Because the pain was so real, I buried myself in books. And on the outside, that looked like a positive thing, but deeper, I was actually running away from the pain.
I think it's important to realize that post-traumatic stress disorder is a response to a traumatic event. And people who have experienced trauma and are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder might try and avoid feelings that are related to the trauma. PTSD might present itself in risky behaviors. So you might find that a person may engage in drugs or alcohol abuse as a way to try and cope with the traumatic event.
Angiphusha ngigcina sengimelapha ngibheke emuva umela asondela ngonesi ngafika angigwaza ngaqeda ukungigwaza avela abaleka aphuma ngapha ayejama yo ipain engizwise yona it's massive angengikhohle namanje the feeling yokugwazwa unexpected ipain yakhona endlini nasesikela engifika esikoleni bese ngibhaziseka ngasakhona ukuconcentrate esikoleni ngacala ngathatha ama-drugs ngabhema ukukhuluma nje ngayo every time ngicabanga bengikhala most of the time ngihleli ngiyi-one nje bengicabanga ngikhala even nokubona isikar sakhona nje mawugeza ngikhalisa.
I think with walks and events like we had today, it promotes an awareness in the sense that people with mental illness shouldn't be stigmatized. It's something that we can talk about as a community.
Sanibonani, igama uLoyiso isibongo sikaMpula, and I'm a victim of PTSD.
Education was my saving grace, and it allowed me to change my circumstances. Through education, I wanted to help people find sustainable ways to empower themselves. At the back of my mind, there was always this knowing that I had to help others because of my story. I knew that the Miss South Africa platform would give me the opportunity to raise awareness about issues that I'm passionate about. My wish is to continue helping sufferers of PTSD, and I believe that the Miss World organization will help me effect change in South Africa.